Hey y'all.
Let me actually share this so that we can all jam together. This is my song right now. I feel like I gotta play the video because that way you like really get the vibe of what's going on. And that's what we need is the vibe of what's going on. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now, if you're not here live with us, because you haven't yet joined the archive and found your way to the inner circle, I don't understand what the problem is. Come on down here and get some of this good fun. All right. So, yeah. So I'll give you the background about the artist on the other side of this because I also need to finish pouring my tea, and this will give me about 5 minutes to do that. Okay, so here we go.
A few moments later.
I am in here jamming. That is my bop right now. I love that song. I just added it to my morning playlist. It was a pleasant surprise this morning because I forgot that I did that. And then it came on, and then I was like, repeat. When I tell y'all, so this is the background with me and PJ Morton. And if you've been around for a while, you have heard me talk about this. If this is your first time, welcome to story time. And also, I'll do the intro and stuff after this. So, I am from New Orleans, Louisiana, and PJ Morton's father, Bishop Paul S. Morton, was my pastor from the time that I was 9 years old until I went away to college, adulthood, all of that. So, my church growing up was Greater St. Stephen's Full Gospel Baptist Church in New Orleans, Louisiana. PJ and I are the same age. So, that means that when I'm involved in Sunday school or youth choir or praise team or whatever that we were doing, PJ was also there because he's the son of the pastors. So we also went to I went to Xavier Prep for high school, which is an all girls Catholic high school. He went to St. Augustine High School, which is an all boys Black Catholic high school. So we were like connected in that way. There's another school named St. Mary's, which is also a Black girls Catholic school. So Prep, St. Mary's, St. All kind of had like a relationship, if you will. So anyway, we were in the same grade. So like we rolled in kind of adjacent circles and all that kind of stuff. And I have watched PJ and his career go from his first solo. We were at Greater St. Stephen's in Uptown New Orleans, and he had to sing No Weapon, and he did not want to sing it. He was not trying to do it at all. And I don't remember exactly what he was saying because I was in the choir. I don't remember exactly what he was saying, but he was not trying to go. But he did it, and it was so good. Like he did such a good job. And we were probably like 11 at that time. So then the first CD that he released, or the first music project that he released, was with his sister Jasmine. And I don't recall the name of it right now. I could probably look it up. But they were selling the I don't even think it was a CD. It might have been a cassette tape. Was it a cassette tape or was it? I think it was a CD. I think it was a CD. So anyway, we bought those at the church, right? Like you got to support PJ, you know? So that was the first music project that he did. And I remember I used to listen to it all the time. Cause I had gone off to college because I would listen to it back and forth from college. So he had that project, and then his first solo project was a project called Emotions that also was sold at the church. I also had that CD, and to this day, I love it. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite albums. So anyway, albums makes me sound old. I don't really know what to say to make it make sense, but anyway. So, also, I love this fan so much because it be hot and I was dancing. So, anyway, so he did Emotions and then we were in college. So, he went to Morehouse. I was at Fisk. Again, kind of like HBCU type connections and all that kind of stuff. Now, fun fact is the drummer. So, let me pull the video back up. This is Ed Clark. Ed also went to St. Aug and his sister went to prep to my high school. So we all went to the same church, and Patrice, she's actually a news reporter, journalist, anchor person in Mississippi. I want to say in Jackson, Mississippi. But Patrice and I went to school together, and then Ed went to St. Aug. But in high school, we they started like a young adult like mini Kirk Franklin. Okay, so this is like Kirk Franklin time. We were singing melodies from heaven and all of that, right? So we was the family, if you will, behind whoever was the lead person. Probably I don't know, maybe like 12 or 16 of us. It wasn't a lot of us. Ed was the director for that group. And he's also an amazing drummer. So he's been with PJ since we were back at the church. And they have gone all over the world. Like I'm talking Grammys after Grammys. And every time, so I had moved to Tampa after college and they didn't come to Florida very often. And I remember I used to be spamming PJ, like, you've got to come to Florida. Like, you've got to come. So they came to Tampa once and I made sure that I went and I made sure I stayed and said hi afterwards and we took pictures and all of that. But anytime that I was home and they were performing, I made sure I went. Because this is what I want you to know is that PJ Morton, that man is gonna put on a live show. You understands me? Now I'm from New Orleans. We from New Orleans. We love some live music. Okay. He had an album actually called Live Show Killer. And when I tell you this man, he gonna write some tunes, he gonna remix them tunes. Honey, he gonna give you a new vibe with the tunes. Like it is just so phenomenal to watch. And then he also has like an imprint in the way, you know how producers like Mustard, right? Mustard on a beat, ho, right? They have like a signature sound, and you know that that's one of their projects. PJ has a signature sound. So once you understand PJ's sound, you automatically know that he's involved with the process. PJ has worked with people like India Arie, Alex Isley, Robert Glasper, Stevie Wonder, on the album before this one that he just released. He had Nas on there. Like when I tell you this man is phenomenal. You understand? And I just be sitting here so excited and happy and like looking forward to the next vibe that he's gonna create. So the song that I was playing, Please Be Good, he released it on an album called Cape Town to Cairo, and he spent 30 days in Africa writing this album. And he had already released it in one form, but then once he got back to New Orleans, because oh my gosh, there's so much PJ. I don't want to go down this PJ rabbit hole for real, because I will go down it. But this is what I was gonna say is PJ spent a lot of time away. So he went to Morehouse, then he moved to LA because that's what you're supposed to do to make it and all that kind of stuff. When he released an album called Gumbo, it was his first project where he had made a conscious decision to go back home to New Orleans. So his work that he's been doing has been coming out of New Orleans, and he's very intentional about putting a New Orleans flavor on things. So with this album, Cape Town to Cairo, he took that and that African influence and then mirrored it and merged it with New Orleans. Like there's one of the songs on the album, it's a lick that the horn player plays that is indicative of Mardi Gras. And you would only know that if you're from New Orleans. So it's like, oh my God, I love it so much. So anyway, that is my love for PJ Morton. and everything that he's doing. And this song in particular, it makes me want to cry, even though it is like a very upbeat, vibey song, but it's also like this pleading to the universe and to God, like, please be good to me. I need a break. I have been doing so much and I just need a break. Like, I'll get back to all that stuff in a minute, but this is more than I can take. So can you take me to another place, somewhere far away? I don't mean to be in control, but I just need to let you know, can you please be good to me? Y'all, that is my prayer every single day that I wake up, because Jesus, I don't want to be on the strong soldiers list no more. Okay? I don't want to do it any more. So this song really resonates and it is on repeat. It is my current autistic stem. It is my current bop, my vibe right now. Welcome into my world. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the show. Oh my God, I love my life. I really do. Even when it is a little bit difficult, I still love my life. Please be good to me. 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 Hey y'all, I'm Kimberlyn, and this is the Frolicking Truth, a soft space for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal. Here, joy meets justice. We calm our Black ass nervous systems, we unmask, and we leave behind whatever that is trying to kill us. You're seen here, you're safe here, and you don't have to do this alone. So, hey, y'all, come on in, find a comfortable spot, take a seat. I am grateful to have you here for episode 28 of the Frolicking Truth podcast for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal, where joy meets justice and our nervous systems get free. It's all right if you don't identify with any of those descriptors. It just means that when you come ready to listen, ready to learn, and ready to support. And don't come up in here with no foolishness, all right? Because I'm not for it. That's not what we're doing over here, all right? So if you're going to lurk, thank you for the watch hours, but don't let your lurking fingers get itchy and get to bringing riffraff and foolishness to my door, all right? I don't know why I felt like I needed to say that, but I did. All right. So, my name is Kimberland. If you are here for the very first time, hey, excited to meet you and excited to have you here in the space. I start this off with the auntie check-in, and that is where I give you some behind the scenes info about me, my life, and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes the auntie check-in is just what we're talking about today because, I got things that I need to say, and I'm going to say the things that I need to say. Okay, thank you for being here for it. I do want to go ahead and give you a disclaimer and say today might feel very ADHD, and that is because there are so many things that I need to say. This is actually the last episode that I'm going to be recording in real time. All the other episodes that are going to come out will be pre-recorded. So it was a lot of stuff that happened over the past week, and I was like, my God, today we got to talk about all of these things. So, yeah, strap in, for the ride and join with me because there's a lot. So we started all of this off in talking about the bop of the week, the bop of the time for me, and that is PJ Morton's Please Be Good to Me. And I mentioned that this has been my prayer over the past year, really, but definitely over the past couple weeks. I feel like I've just been really every morning just like, God, please, 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 like, please, come on, like, enough. right? And so this song, it really just kind of keeps me grounded and also brings a sense of joy. And that's one of the questions that I have for y'all is what is bringing you joy right now? Because there's a lot that's going on. And I know I say that it's a lot often, but like, and the lot just continues to be more a lot. And that is going to continue happening. So, we have to find the moments and opportunities for joy. And that song is 5 minutes, which turns into 5 hours of me just repeating that mantra over and over to myself. As a matter of fact, this morning I found myself repeating my affirmations out loud as I was getting ready because they are now like inside of me, and I know what's coming next and I know what's coming after that. And it's really helping me to remain calm and grounded in the midst of so much craziness. So I will state that one of the things, and I've talked to my Patreon about this quite a bit. Shout out to the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle is my collection within the archive, which is our Patreon. And I've talked about this a little bit before during some of the live episodes that have been recorded. But today is November 12th, and I was supposed to get paid from this company that I contract with on October 20th. And I have still not gotten paid. They told us we were going to get paid on Monday, and we did not. So that's wild. And it's been really wild and really like crazy because at this point they owe me up to five, almost $6,000. So that's been crazy. And in the face of that, I have just really I can't do anything about it. And so I can't focus on it because if I focus on it, then I'm just gonna lose my shit. And I can't afford to lose my shit right now. So one of the ways that I keep my shit together is by finding affirmations and mantras and like songs that can help me kind of feel stabilized in the midst of so much that is unstable. So when I ask what is bringing you joy right now, that's why I ask because it is important for us to have something that is keeping us grounded and kind of keeping us stable. I wanted to mention that. And then I also wanted to re uplift that I am on break from actually next week through the middle of January. So there will still be episodes coming out that I have pre recorded. I actually have one more that I still have to pre-record, and it's the last one that'll come out for the year. But those episodes still will be coming out, but I won't be doing them actively and in real time because y'all, my brain is tired. Okay. So that's I wanted to let you know that. But if you are looking for connection and wanting to remain connected, that would happen in Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/minding my black ass business, you can join the archive and you can become a keeper, and then you can make your way to the inner circle and see what we're talking about in there. There's also some things that have gone in the sunflower path. I am going to be calling a dream talk meeting probably next month because there's a lot of alignment that needs to happen. I've talked to three people just this week that are independently working on different things. So, like, one person reached out to me, and they are someone who I helped to leave the US, and they were like, I need to do something. Like I'm creating a guidebook, like, but I want to talk to you because I need to do something to help. Somebody else reached out and was basically like, I recognize this is my mission and I really don't know what to do with that, but I want to offer my services to see how I can support you because I know that sitting under your tutelage, if you will, is going to help me in understanding what I'm supposed to do. I talked to somebody else just this morning and they were trying to ungaslight themselves. And we had a conversation about reframing and like, what are you doing and how are you keeping yourself balanced and all of that. And so I mentioned that because we are working independently right now, and it really is time to align. And that's happening through a bunch of different mediums. And it's why when I talk about certifying intuitive melanated life coaches, it's why my work is in so many different places, because there are people in so many different places, and every single person is connected to somebody else that somebody else isn't connected to. And it really is time for us to activate this network of people, and that's not going to be safe on social media for too much longer. Amanda Seals is somebody that I follow, and I just this morning, or maybe it was yesterday, saw that she made a post showing how Meta and Instagram are suppressing her content. And she has been under attack for a while because she's been very vocal about Palestine and divesting from celebrity and just really being a truth teller, honestly. And a lot of people don't like her, and that's totally fine. But what even my best friend Bianca is here. Bianca will be, but did I lie though? Like, you might not have liked what I said, but did I lie? Right. And Amanda Seals is very much one of those people because she has been on the forefront of talking about these things that are happening and actively alerting other people to what's going on. And we have to kind of realize that social media is owned by billionaires right now, and the billionaire class is the enemy, if you will. The billionaire class is who is running the government in the US, and they are just playing a game with all of our lives. Once we accept that, then we understand that traditional social media, is not really going to be a safe place for us to have real conversation. So those conversations like that will be happening through the archive. And I want people to be there. I want you to have the information. I want you to have this global understanding, but it's not something that we can just safely put out on social media. It's just not. So having said that, it's $5 a month to be a part of the archive. And once that $5 gets you into all the collections, everything that is there. So we also have a change corridor where we discuss what action looks like and how do we organize and mobilize. We also have the sunflower path where we talk about how we restore and how do we fulfill ourselves and how do we keep ourselves grounded. So there are places to be able to have these conversations in a safe way. Hey y'all, I'm Kimberland, founder of Minding My Black Ass Business and the visionary behind the archive. This isn't just another Patreon. This is a living space that we're building together. A place for dreamers, healers, storytellers, and truth tellers. The ones who believe that we can create a world where we actually thrive, not just survive. The archive is a home for everything we're growing: podcasts, advocacy, healing work, and remembering who we are and who we've always been. Every story, every laugh, every hard truth, it all belongs here. In here, everyone is what we call a keeper. Each keeper holds something sacred. The memory keepers protect our stories and the wisdom of where we've been. The light keepers hold our joy, creativity, and celebration. The change keepers carry the vision for what's next, the systems, the healing, and the new ways of being. And together, we protect the soul of this movement. When you step into the archive, you'll find collections. Each one offers a different path to grow and explore. You can move through the sunflower path, walk the change corridor, explore Discover Your Destiny, or gather around one of the podcasts that feeds your spirit. And here's the thing: no matter what level you choose to give at, you get access to it all. If you're able to give more, we're deeply grateful. Your support helps keep this work alive. But your presence, your engagement, that's what we value most here. So, welcome home to the archive. This is where we remember who we are, build what comes next, and protect what matters most. We're just getting started, and I'm so glad that you're here to build with us. All right, so that is the end of that commercial for that. Okay, but if you are continuing to look for a connection, that is where it's going to be, because I will not be in the traditional spaces. I'm gonna be resting my nerves. Okay. I also wanted to give a quick Raina update. So Raina is doing pretty all right. I have her pinned in different places because Raina is getting long. And I'm really trying to figure out what we doing, honestly. I'm letting it rock right now, but girl, relax. But I had done a little like twist out situation up here in the front, and then I've just kind of been letting it kind of frizz out and do what it wants to do as it is and puff up. And I'm really liking this stage right now because it's starting to match how the rest of the wash and go was before. And I also realized that the portrait mode is on right now, so you can't really see. But I'm really proud of Raina. I'm proud of Raina and I and the way that we have developed this relationship. I honestly did not even know Raina for a very long time. Sis was fried, died, and laid to the side, and I really never had a relationship with who Raina actually is. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, "Raina's showing out," and I'm like, "Baby, when I named Raina and said Raina is Raina, Raina said, 'Girl, clear the way,' because what I want you to know is that Raina stands. It's the Spanish word for queen. So I also saw some people ask how you spell it. So Reina is spelled Reina. That's in Espanol. In English, it's spelled Reina. So that's how Reina is spelled. And again, that's the Spanish word for queen. And honey, sis got queen energy. Okay, so I'm here for it. I'm excited about it. I am loving the olive oil addition to my hair care routine. So I really am going to keep that up and figure out what I can do with that and how I can create some emulsified cream situations and all that, me trying to be in the lab. So that is one of the things I'm going to be directing brain cells towards and do brain field trips and all that kind of stuff while I'm on my break, because that stuff actually doesn't feel like work to me. It feels fun when I get to go down those types of rabbit holes. So I'll have time to do that then. But yeah, so me and Raina, we rocking. We rocking. So yes. Let's do a quick subscriber update, y'all. So last week, I told you all that we crossed over the 1,500 mark. What I still have not done though is I was supposed to post my celebratory Shake That Ass video, and I did not, and I still need to do that. So I am holding myself accountable to what I have promised the people because I just feel like y'all need and want to see it. I don't know. And if you don't, keep scrolling. It's good. Last week we're at 1,504 subscribers. This week we are at 1,519 subscribers. So there are 15 folks that have found their way down here to the Mind of My Black Ass Business universe over the past week. And honestly, I'm just so elated that people are here, that y'all are finding us. Plug in, tap in, leave a comment, say hi. There's so much that is in store, especially for next year. I keep alluding to the fact that we have this new podcast coming, and I am going to be sharing a clip from that in one of the upcoming episodes that you'll see during the break. But there's so much that's happening over here in this universe. Is way more than what's going on here on YouTube. So tap in, clock in, check in, and connect, right? So let me know where you are joining from and all of the things. I would be really excited to get to know you. We had the healing circle last week. It also went incredibly well. Like Vanessa and I were in there. So Vanessa is the well educator, and she facilitates our yoga and breathwork experience. And then I facilitate like the conversation and affirmations and the deeper connections. And we were just sitting there having the best conversations with ladies. Everyone this time was from the US, but from various places across the US. Some folks were in education, which we love when that happens. We had somebody else. I had a couple college friend that came. It was just such a good time. And as we were sitting there, all of us were saying to ourselves, See, this is what I needed for the day. This is what I needed. So, to my point of getting plugged in and connected, if you are a Black woman who is looking to connect back to your body, looking to connect back to your spirit, really looking for a community, the Healing Circle is an amazing place to be able to do that. We meet every second Saturday of the month. We actually will be meeting during the break because it is a restorative space. So the next Healing Circle will be on Saturday, December 13th. It's immediately after the Frolicking Truth. It will take place at 12:30 to 2 p.m. Eastern. So it's a 90-minute time block. And you can register at tinyurl.com/Black Women Healing Circle for that. All right. Okay, I think those are all the updates that I had for today. So let's get into the things. So, last week's episode, I started telling you all about my journey to activism. And I say started telling you all because it is like it's hard to just kind of box it into this situation. But I started sharing like what happened where I was getting these awakenings. And there's a point in last week's episode where I alluded to starting to talk about Tampa. And then I fast forwarded because I was like, y'all, this episode getting too long. It can only be so long because the healing circle was happening after it and all that. So I'm going to tell y'all next week. So I'm going to insert that here so that we can have some context about what I am about to continue on talking about. All right. So let's pause right here for a second and flash back to the conversation from last week about Tampa. There was now this is kind of like the tea part. This is the part where I'm like, okay, so let me fill in these gaps of the things that happened. So this is approximately 2017 in Tampa, Florida. So I left mentoring in 2016, and the 16-17 school year, I joined the faculty at Memorial. The principal that was there was not the principal that needed to be at the school. Okay. My role was as a student success coach. So my role was to support students who were considered quote unquote at risk. So students that had experienced some type of failure in academics, behavior, or attendance. And my job was to work with them to help them experience success again. So this was a concept that was developed by Shalia McCrae, who at the time was the leader of the Success Coaches, who I also, by the way, went to the hairdresser with. All right. So, um, so it's important to say that because people are lurking and people don't be knowing who I know and people don't be knowing what I do and what I've done and how many things that I am behind and how many people I continue to talk to in these spaces that tell me things and ask me for advice. So I'm saying all that to say, please stop playing with me and go Google me. All right. All right. If that was for you, you know I'm talking to you. If it wasn't, just clock it. So anyway, so the student success program comes up and it centers on again closing this achievement and access gap, data, supporting our bottom quartile students and our students that really need to be able to achieve. So that principal though was not the person to do this, right? So this is my first year that I've decided to come back into the school. I have made a conscious decision to be in the school. I could have went anywhere. I decided to come here, but I'm also not doing this dysfunctionality. So I get word that we are going to get a new principal. So I had some principal friends and it was like, listen, just hang on, okay? Because I got word that he's about to be gone and y'all about to get another principal. So don't give up yet. Because I'm like, I'm not finna keep doing this. So we get word that we have a new principal and the principal was appointed before the school year ends, which is also rare because a lot of times they will move principals in the middle of the year. And I don't know if y'all understand how disruptive that is, but unless they are really like a poor principal and they don't have ethics, then yes, get them out of there. But otherwise, we got to make better decisions about when we do huge faculty and culture shifts. Okay. Clock that for whoever needed that. So anyway, so we get word that we're getting this new principal. And this new principal, April Gilliard, comes to the school and she is doing interviews with everybody to understand like, what's working, what's not working, which is also don't often happen. People just be coming in and taking over. So she's actually, gathering information and all of that. So I give her my 2 cents, having been a mentor here for these past 4 years, now being a part of the faculty. This is my inside and outside opinion about what's going on. So she kind of takes note and all of that, and I'll bring her back up in a minute. So I wind up having there, as a student success coach, one of the things that we would have to do every year is to choose a turnaround student. And a turnaround student is a student that was kind of failing at the beginning or not doing well, and now they've turned things around and now they're doing so much better. So we have this turnaround breakfast. Also, I'm gonna stop saying so because I'm getting on my nerves. Okay, all right. We have this turnaround breakfast, and I meet a new school board member who is the school board member for our district, and she's also a Black woman. Her name is Tamara Schamberger. I meet Tamara Schamberger at this turnaround breakfast in 2017, and I say to her, "Aren't you our school board representative?" And she says, "Yes." And I say, "Oh my gosh, we need your help. We're getting a new principal, but we're in turnaround status and we need your support. Would you come to the school to see how you can offer us support?" And she says, "Absolutely. I absolutely will. I would love to. Absolutely." And I said, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to meet you. Thank you so much." Okay. 17-18 school year starts. We now have April Gilliard as our new principal. We are in turnaround mode because we've also had visitations from people who are saying, if y'all don't get it together, we are snatching the school, period. All right. So we doing all the things. All right. We are picking up kids, dropping off kids. We meeting with people. We out here canvassing the neighborhood. So my position turned in kind of to like this PR position where I'm out in the neighborhood, because what I realize is that a lot of people support elementary schools and a lot of people support high schools. Where y'all think the kids at in the middle? Where y'all think they at? We had one donor. It was an insurance company, and they would buy pizza for the first parent teacher conference, and that was it. That is all that they did. We did not have any other outside support at this school where we're in turnaround status. And what the hell? So I turn into PR person. I'm at Winn-Dixie. I'm talking to me. Hey, y'all support schools. Y'all got funds y'all give away. What can you do? You got gift cards? What you got? I'm down at Jersey Mike's. I'm talking to the law offices. I'm down at the dentist office. I'm talking to everybody. We got 700 kids down here that need some support. Where y'all been at? How can you help? Like, this is what I'm doing, right? So during that time, while I'm at Memorial, we are working. Okay. So I have a couple clips that I want to show y'all just to show y'all what life was like for me while I was there. Okay. Now, these clips are from just before I left, but over time, what happened is we wound up developing a food pantry, a clothes closet. We had washers for our kids because kids weren't coming to school. Remember, I'm working with kids that are having issues with attendance. They're not coming to school because they can't wash their school uniform. So how can we, in the middle of this community, how can we support this community? So now I'm working with the social worker, and like we getting it together at this school.
There's a new pilot program now underway at Memorial Middle School in Hillsborough County. New washer and dryers are up and running for kids who don't have access to ones at home.
Because before that, we were taking them to our own homes and washing them. So the Bullard Foundation was so generous to donate these washers and dryers for us. And we're in the very infant stages of it, but our dream is to be able to have a laundromat where our students would be able to come and wash their clothes if they needed to.
96% of the kids at Memorial Middle and Seminole Heights are at or below the poverty level. And this pilot program is thanks to the Bullard Family Foundation. Thaddeus Bullard, better known as WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. O'Neil lives in Tampa Bay and says he's blessed by the kindness and generosity of others. Now he's paying it forward, and you can too. Still ahead at 6, I will tell you how you can help Memorial Middle and other community schools across the Tampa Bay area. But we talk all the time about what teachers do. To think these teachers were taking children's clothes home and washing them for you shows just how many sacrifices they make.
The comment says, look at KJ, you better make a change. So I'm sharing this because the narrative that was being painted was that our kids were not getting support, that we were not doing what we needed to do to be able to support our kids, right? So you heard them mention a couple times Thaddeus Bullard, who is Titus O'Neil. He lives in Tampa, and he and his foundation had given money and donations. It was at our school, Memorial Middle School, as well as another school, Slide Middle School, which I believe they may have named after him. But he was really instrumental during this time of financing a lot of these things that needed to happen to, again, help our students to have the basic foundations that they need so that they can come into school to learn. Because nobody can learn when they hungry. Nobody can learn when they don't know if they stink because they gotta wear the same shirt and the same pants every day. Like, kids can't learn under those circumstances. So what can we do to support them, right? So this is the kind of work that we're doing down there to the memorial. All right, we've completely changed the face of Memorial, and we doing the work. All right, okay, so back to this 2017-18 school year, because that clip is from 2019, but that's what it built up to. So this 2017-18 school year, we're working to be able to earn a C and working diligently, right? And there was an article that comes out in 2018. So the school was in turnaround status, which meant that if we didn't earn a C, that the state was going to take over the school. If the state takes over a school, there's a process called an external operator. This is in Florida. This doesn't necessarily operate the same way in other states. So if the state takes over the school, then the state places somebody in charge called an external operator. So the external operator then becomes the one who's saying what to do at the school. Sometimes that looks like they replace the administration. Sometimes that looks like they clean house and everybody has to re-interview. It can look very different. So during this year where they're letting us know if y'all don't get this C and the school is going to close, there's a lot of conversation about what does this mean if we don't? What does it mean if the school does get taken over? We just got a new principal. Is she going to leave? Do we have to reapply for our jobs? There are a lot of questions that are being asked. So it was our school, and it was about 5 or 6 other schools. So we are the only middle school, though, that is on the list. The other schools are all elementary schools. Okay, now keep in mind, these are feeder schools to our middle school as well. Remember, I told you that all of the schools in the neighborhood in Tampa have been turned into magnet schools. So the kids are being bussed out to other schools. So that was happening at that first school, McLean, is also happening at Memorial. So because of the systemic issues that are happening in the neighborhoods, issue to access, all of that, those same issues then come to the middle school. So we're the middle school that is absorbing all of this stuff. External operator will get placed in charge. We don't know what happens. So we're having conversations. So there's an article that is written in the Tampa Bay Times where Tamara Schamberger, who is the school board representative that I met, and I said to her, hey girl, we getting a new principal. We need your help. Are you going to come? Had never come. But it's quoted in this article saying, I don't know why the teachers, I'm paraphrasing, I don't know why the teachers are having all these conversations or whatever about whatever. At the end of the day, our kids are not getting what they need. And I took offense to that. Because, girl, you ain't never even came. You don't know what we are doing over here to support our kids. I'm taking kids home after practice. I'm picking up kids on the weekend to come to Saturday school. I'm taking kids' clothes home and washing them every night. We are out here canvassing the neighborhoods to get community support because nobody is helping us. We don't have money to be able to support the kids. What are you talking about, girl? So she shares this article on her Facebook page. Now, let me introduce Bianca right quick. So Bianca is my best friend. You all have seen her in this universe. She and I also have a podcast called Heal That Shit. This is how Bianca and I met. Now, Bianca has her own story about what was going on. She also was a teacher. She also had run-ins with this Tammy Schamberger. Okay. So this is before, so in 2017, when all of this happens, there is this email, like my principal calls me in the office and she's like, what happened, basically, right? But because, come on, receipts, because people lie, receipts don't. Shout out to Bianca Goolsby. I had 22 pages of screenshots to show my principal what actually happened. So this is a clip of me explaining this to Bianca, and also I want to brace y'all because Bianca really used to be out here in full on shenanigans on these people's internet. Once Ms. Schamberger announced that she was going to run for re-election, I had promised myself that if she did run for re-election, that I would make it my personal duty to ensure that people knew what happened so that they can make an informed decision. So I am really just here to present the facts of what occurred. What you do with that information is up to you, but what you cannot say is that you didn't know. Okay, so I'll start at the very beginning. So in March of 2018, I was an employee at one of our turnaround schools in the district, and we had spent that entire year doing all the work that we could to give our kids everything that they needed. We were coming early, staying late, doing things on the weekends, just trying to align resources, get the community back involved. So just really, really busting our behinds to get our kids what they needed. There was an article that was written in regards to the external operator and the process of acquiring the external operator and the logistics that surrounded it of what they were going to do with faculty and staff and the contract that they were negotiating. Ms. Schamberger is quoted in the article as saying, and I'll read it for you. It says, but Tamara Schamberger, whose urban district includes 6 of the 7 schools, so there were 10 schools at the time that were in danger, whose urban district includes 6 of the 7 schools, said it made no sense to complain or pick apart the contract when so many students are not getting the education they need. So what happened is Ms. Schamberger posted this article on her Facebook business page. Okay, so I was following her, right? Black woman on the school board, like took Dorothea Edgecombe's seat. Like, I'm in full support, sis. Like, absolutely. So I'm following her. I see the article. I see she posted the article and she quoted herself in her post. So I read the entire article so that I could have some kind of context, right? And then I got to the part where she's saying the kids aren't getting what they need and kind of turned my head a little bit because I had met her that previous May. So this is March 2018. So in May of 2017, prior to getting our new administration, I was sitting at the table with her at a district turnaround breakfast. And I asked her specifically, I said, you're a school board representative, right? So she said, yes. And I said, we are going to need your help. Our school, is in danger and, we're getting a new administration this upcoming year. We really could use your support. We, would you be able to come and, lend your support? She committed. Yes. I will absolutely come. I'll definitely make sure I come by. Absolutely. For sure. Y'all are in my district. Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to come. So that was in May of 2017. This is in March of 2018, and she still had not come to the school. However, she was quoted in this article as saying our students didn't get what they needed. So I remembered that I had talked to her in May of the previous year, asked her to come. It's March of 2018. You haven't come, and now you're making this comment on Facebook and quoting yourself because apparently, in my eyes, you're proud of what you said.
So I then proceeded to comment. So what I want to say is that I have about 22 pages of screenshots. So she made her comment. So then I commented and I said, I remember personally inviting you, Ms. Schamberger, to visit Memorial Middle at the district turnaround breakfast last year. I'm pretty disappointed that we still have yet to be graced with your presence. I think it would speak volumes if you thought enough of us and our students to actually step foot on campus and see the things we are doing. It would also help for you to remove some of the red tape we encounter when we are trying to do more for our students. People talk all around us, but decline to speak with us and truly advocate for our kids. Her response was, Memorial is on my list to visit. Again, this is March of 2018. Memorial is on my list to visit. I have 75 schools in my district. It takes some time to get to Memorial. I have 75 schools in my district. It takes some time to get to all of them. My door is always open. I have never declined to speak with you or anyone. In fact, I get lots of feedback. Call anytime. Left her number. So then I responded and I said, as the only secondary school on the turnaround list, it would have seemed that we'd have been a high priority, not left for the end of the year. Actions speak loudly, and hopefully we'll see you before the year is done. Thank you for your response. She then responded, issues and concerns should never wait on a visit from anyone. Our students need advocates who speak up every single day. I'll make sure the area superintendent is aware of your concerns. Enjoy your weekend, and I look forward to the visit. In the meantime, a friend of mine came across this conversation, right? Because again, this is on her Facebook business page, right? So these are other people that have followed her, and it came to find out there were several people who were experiencing or seeing the conversation. So a friend of mine messaged me on the side. Now, something about me is I used to be a mentor for the district. So when I was mentoring for the district, there were times that I had to be at 4 or 5 schools in one day. And this wasn't me being at 4 or 5 schools to take a picture. This was me doing real work. I'm doing observations. I'm doing pre and post conferences, right? So I'm actually working, meeting with principals, meeting with administrators, meeting with teachers. So you have 75 schools. This is all the stuff I'm saying to myself. You have 75 schools, and it is March of this year. And you mean to tell me that you could not get to the only secondary turnaround school on your list? And I have the ability as just a regular person to be at 5 schools in a day. Like, how long does it really take to get to these schools? So that's what I'm thinking. But I don't say that because I'm a professional, right? So I don't say that. But my friend who is watching this conversation unfold, she then comments on the conversation. And she says something to the effect of, let me find it. She says something to the effect of, by my loose calculations, we've had 100 days of school, and let's take out time for winter break. Let's take out time for Thanksgiving break. Let's take out time for this, and that. Let's take out time for emergencies, blah, blah, blah. So let's just say that we had 75 days of school. You mean to tell me you couldn't get to this one school in 75 days? So as I saw that she had made that comment, she messaged me on the side. Because mind you, all of this is happening at like 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. So she messaged me on the side, and she's basically like, friend, what is Schamberger talking about? Why is she making excuses about what you said? And what is she talking about? So then that alerted me to go back on and see what was happening, right? So I go back on, I log in, and I see the comment. So I'm trying to reply to the comment because at this point we were in the 4th quarter, but I'm having difficulty replying. So I'm like, what's going on? So I'll put the comment in, and then the comment would disappear. So I'm like, what's happening? So then my friend texts me, and she's like, she's deleting stuff. She's trying to delete my comment. So at this point, both of us decide that we're going to start taking screenshots.
After all of this happened with the exchange on Facebook, she sends this email, and then I go into my principal's office. My principal is like, what happened? And my principal comes to the understanding that I had 22 pages of screenshots, and she had only sent select screenshots to create a different narrative of what actually happened. So then my principal was like, what you gonna do? And I said, she owes me an apology. She owes me a public apology, or I'm going to the newspaper. Well, she did not apologize. So I went to the newspaper. And there were two articles that were written about this situation. The first article that was written basically shared what happened. And it talks about the Facebook exchange, and it talks about the fact that she sent this email with these selected screenshots that was not the truth. When that article came out, she went on the internet and acted an ass. So then they wrote a second article. And that article was an op-ed that was written about the way that she deals with accountability. Again, you can Google these things. So this first article was written April 6th of 2018. So after that first article, they write a second article. And she still didn't apologize. She still continued acting an ass on the internet. Okay. So in this video, when I said, when Samara Schamberger said that she was going to run again for office, that is why I am saying something now. Because after all of that happened, she never apologized. And I didn't say nothing else because I'm very much I said what I said and I'm not going to keep saying what I said because I done already said what I said type of person. So because I had already said what I had to say. Like, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. And you actually should be coming to the school that you claim that you sitting here critiquing. Like, WTF. Then I went back to working because we still have to earn this seat. Well, we did earn the seat. Okay, so we earned the seat the 2017, what was that? The 17-18 school year. 18-19 school year comes along. We maintain our seat. We continue doing all the amazing things that I showed you with the laundromat and with the food pantry. And we expanded that. I wound up, I'll show you all this video as well. So I established a girls group called Chosen Women. And it was something that the kids really looked forward to. And I really had the opportunity to do an amazing work. Hi, I'm Kimberlyn Jackson. I am the Student Success Coach at Memorial Middle School. I am the founder of Chosen Women. Chosen is a mentorship group for 8th grade young ladies. We build leaders and we empower them to love themselves and to learn how to empower other girls. Chosen is an acronym. It stands for character, humility, optimism, security and self-esteem, excellence, and nobility. We are here to teach every young lady that she is a queen, and we want them to walk that out and live that every day. So you might be asking yourself how you can get involved. The good news is we are always looking for community partners and other dynamic women who are looking to pour into the next generation. So I had really thrown myself into Chosen, and I was working with my girls, and they're doing vision boards, and we had a conference, and these are all my girls here, and it was just an amazing time. Like, they really had an opportunity to look forward to something and experience retreats, and it was phenomenal. Okay, the comment says, bend that girl. I need you to understand. Okay, I need you to understand. So I throw myself into that work. So 2018-19, baby, we out here popping, honey. I got the 6th grade girls coming up to me like, Miss Jackson, when I get to 8th grade, can I be in girls group? I want to be in girls group. I love girls group. They look like they having so much fun, right? Matter of fact, let me play this other clip. This is one of my girls. So when was this posted? This was in August of 2018. So this is at the beginning of the same school year that I'm talking to y'all about. And what happened is Miss Gilliard and I were thinking about ways that we could get money for our students. I told you I'm out here canvassing the neighborhoods. I'm trying to think about all these things, right? So we get invited to go to this gala. And because I'm the PR person, she charges me with choosing a student and preparing that student to talk to all these donors at this gala. So I choose one of my students. Her name is Danae Oates. So I choose Danae to speak at this gala, and I prep her and all of this of what she's going to say. All right. So this is Miss Gilliard standing here, and this is Danae next to her.
Miss Gilliard really made things better for our school. Even though our old principal, he tried very hard, but Miss Gilliard tried harder because, of course, we were a B average. And now we're a C, which is, I'm very proud. I'm very proud. Hopefully we can make it to a B or A. But like she said, I'm in Algebra 1, and it is great, less classes in high school. And something that really helped me boost my confidence the most is girls group. Miss Jackson, my student success coach over there. Well, how about a round of applause for Miss Jackson? She really helped me a lot because she boosted my confidence the first time, because me, out of all girls in my school, has gotten chosen to be in this group. Of course, my peers too, but I felt honored.
I did not tell that girl to say that, right? So I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, Danae was, you see, she worked in the room, child. She got the people laughing. She up there cracking jokes. She did a 5-minute set. Like, what is happening here? She was so nervous before that, but I'm like, you better go out there and talk to them people. And that she did, right? So as we are at this gala, all of these people are coming up to me, and they're coming up to Danae. They're coming up to Miss Gilliard, and they're like, oh my God. Y'all got something amazing over there down to the memorial. We want more people to know about you. So Danae gets offered an opportunity to speak at the Hillsborough Education Foundation fundraising banquet, which is a room full of people with checkbooks, all right? So we go down that path. This is what I'm focusing on. You understand me? I'm out here doing this work. You feel me? So we wind up establishing this gala, as because we see people like galas, and clearly they got checkbooks. So child, we need to have a gala for us too, like the other schools be doing. So we wind up having this gala. It's really successful. We get all of these unearmarked funds that we're able to use to support our kids, to be able to pour into the clothes closet, the food pantry, the laundromat, the computers, like all of these things that we were able to do. We had a whole student success center where kids could come in. There were lounges and beanbag chairs, and like they had a time. It was a really, really good time. Okay. So now 2019 school year starts. All right. I am planning on getting married. So I'm like, hey, this is my last year. I'm finna move. I'm about to go. There were also some other changes that were happening at the school. And during this time, for some reason, it felt like my voice started to lose power in the room. Like people act like I all of a sudden didn't know what I was talking about. And there were certain things that I was saying is like, y'all, we need to be on top of this. We need to be prepared for this. Like we should be in the zone now. And we were absorbing a new group of students that had some very challenging behavioral needs. So I'm like, we need to get on top of this. Nobody's listening to me though, right? Nobody's listening. So I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know what shifted, but this is wild. So I don't get married, but I do still take the time off. So I leave in September. And just before I left, I get a phone call from someone who was working for the external operator that was still taking over schools. Now, you heard Danae say we earned our seats, so we got off the list for having to get taken over. But there were still elementary schools that were on the list, and there were some schools that had got taken over, and they needed a math and science specialist. So she knows that this is what I do. So she reaches out. She was like, hey, would you like to come and work with us? Now, I'm committed to my girls. You feel me? Because I got 6th grade girls like Miss Jackson when I could be in girls group. This is the thing on the campus. Okay. So, I mean, we out here, y'all, and we were on the news. Like we were doing things. Okay. So this is a big thing. So I'm like, I can't abandon my girls. My girls have been waiting for this their whole lives, you know? So I leave on my break, and then I come back, and things have not gotten better since I've been gone. I want to say 2 weeks off. I come back, things have not gotten better. Things are really wild and crazy. I'm standing in the cafeteria one day, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm done here. So I called the person back, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to go ahead on and take this offer that you've been offering. So I wind up getting hired with a company called Phelan Leadership Academies. And Phelan is actually Black run, which is also important and interesting to understand. But I get hired with Phelan as a math and science specialist, and I start the Monday before Thanksgiving. Now, I'll pause here and say the reason why I am doing this episode this week, even though this might wind up airing in a two-parter, is because I am celebrating the 6-year anniversary of leaving Hillsborough County Public Schools. I left on November, it was either November 8th or November 9th of 2019. Because when I got back and I was standing in that cafeteria and things was crazy as hell, and I was like, I'm not finna do this. So I get hired with Phelan. I start my work, right? The week before Thanksgiving. Around the same time, Bianca reaches out because she had had her own experience in 2019 with Tamara Schamberger and other people that were in leadership in Hillsborough County. So Bianca had written this op-ed article talking about her experience and that she was resigning from teaching and all of that. So her name was a buzz and people were talking about this article like all over the place, right? So she reaches out to me because she ran across the articles that had been written about Tamara Schamberger and me. So she reaches out and she's like, hey, I would like to interview you to talk about this article that was written. Now, mind you, this was before I had left. So at the time, I did not leave you on red, girl. She in the comments talking about little baby left me on red. I didn't leave you on red, but what I said was, no. Like, who are you? Like, I don't know you, girl. But I did befriend her on Facebook because I wanted to get an understanding of who she was and how she be moving. So I friended her on Facebook. All right. Now, in this time, Tammy Schamberger is still being Tammy Schamberger. She's still doing foolishness and just being ridiculous. All right. So now that I've left the school district, Tammy did something else and Bianca had made a post and I commented on the post and Bianca was like, that's why I told you I want to interview you because whatever I had said. I accepted the invitation because I left the school district. So this interview that I'm showing y'all, that is the interview that had happened. So we have this interview and I share the 22 pages of screenshots. I tell the story of what I had just told y'all about that happened in 2018. All right. So I tell that story on a Friday during this interview with Bianca. So that Saturday, Bianca calls me. Now, this is the first time I've ever met Bianca. Okay, and that's how she. Let me show y'all again, so y'all can see how Bianca was on these people's internet. Because at this time, she was very much in her. Y'all need me to dress up in a wig, so y'all are listening to what I'm telling you is these issues in these people's school district. Fine, I will do that because I need y'all to understand what is happening, and I need y'all to do something about it. Okay, so this is that interview. So we have the interview that Friday, and y'all can see Bianca got her wig on. She got on that leopard coat, sipping her tea that might not be tea. All right, so this is how the internet used to be, all right, during this time. So we do the interview. Saturday, Bianca messages me and she's like, girl, Tammy Schamberger just confronted me at this event and like talking about I was slandering her and all this and all that because they was beefing, right? So that happened Saturday. Monday, which is the Monday before Thanksgiving, 2019, I wake up to get ready. Now we're off. Schools are closed, right? So I'm working, but I'm working from home because we can't really go into schools. Right now, that Friday, I had just had a meeting. They were like, oh my God, Kimberlyn, we're so glad to have you. Like, we have heard so many things about you. Your reputation precedes you. Our Florida team is complete. Oh my gosh, they're in good hands. Da, 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 right? Monday, I get a call and they were like, hi, you have a clause in your contract that states that we can release you with or without notice or with or without cause. We're going to exercise that clause today. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what? You have a clause in your contract that states that we can release you with or without notice or with or without cause. We're exercising that clause today. I'm, so are you saying that there is a cause or you just don't want to tell me the cause or I don't understand? You have a clause in your contract that states that we can release you with or without notice or with or without cause. We're going to choose to exercise that today. Today will be your last day. You'll receive your last paycheck on Friday. We wish you the best in the future. And hung up the phone. So then I was like, what? What just happened? Did I just get fired? So I called Bianca and I'm like, I think I just got fired. So I tell her what happened. So at the time, her ex-wife was a civil rights attorney and she wound up like working with me. And now I'm on the radio and like all of this about this situation that happened because why? I'm trying to advocate for the children. So the 2020, 2019, 2020 year and that election season became a whirlwind of absolute craziness. 2020 is also when COVID happened. That's also when George Floyd was murdered. That's also when the Black Lives Matter movement happened. That is also when I wound up moving to Pennsylvania. All of this stuff is happening with the election. We're actively working to get Tamara Schamberger out of her seat, which we were successful with that. And I am like in the midst of politics, which I never really had any intention of being in the midst of politics. I just want you to use facts when you're talking about what's happening with our children, because I know I'm washing kids' clothes every other day in my house with my water and my electricity so that we can help our kids. Okay. It's been a wild ride, y'all, ever since. But I want to take a moment and kind of just shout out and uplift who Bianca is and the type of advocacy work that she has done, is doing, and continues to craft and create, because she also has her own universe, right? So again, we exposing people to the things. I want to start off by saying, y'all, this girl done put out a whole music album. Now you might be asking yourself, oh, she sings and raps too, or like what does she do? She used AI to create an album. And it has been the most interesting thing to watch. And so when I say that advocacy lives in so many different forms and activism lives in so many different forms, this is a way that activism and advocacy lives. So she put out this album and it's out right now. It's Petty B and the Sounds of Snitching is the name of the group. The title is called Grace and Receipts. All right. So she's put out this album, and the album is sharing like about this journey that she went through. I don't want to tell her testimony, but this journey that she went through and how she is rebuilding her life on the other side of this and everything. But I bring this up because within activism work, it is so incredibly draining and exhausting, and it can feel incredibly lonely, and it also can feel really paralyzing. And we need to have outlets to be able to get out the stuck energy, if you will, to be able to transmute what you are feeling, these overwhelming and paralyzing feelings, into something that can give hope and can bring joy and can bring peace. So as I was listening to the album, because of course I know the tea. Okay. So it was a few times where I was like, ooh, and also that, and you are correct. Yep. Yep. And I just feel like it's really, really, really relatable. I also wanted to shout out that her organization is called Teaching for the Culture. And Teaching for the Culture came about because of this journey that she walked through, this journey that we wound up walking through, parallel of advocacy and activism and really creating safe spaces for teachers and for students. And a lot goes into that, as was just mentioned a moment ago, like school board and paying attention to what's happening on the school board and honoring what's happening in legislation. And this is the thing. This is what I need y'all to know. And if you receive this as a scolding, then it is intended as such. I need y'all to get involved in what the hell is happening in these schools. Okay. And I need you to practice radical acceptance about what is happening in these schools. A lot of the work that Bianca does in that video where y'all see her interviewing me, the reason she was wearing a wig and cutting a fool on the internet. And when I tell you cutting a fool, honey, cutting a fool, that I wish we had the clips because I don't know where they are, but cutting the fool on the internet so that people would listen to what was happening, because people are more likely to tune into a reality show than they are to pay attention what is actually happening right now and has been happening for such a long time. So in that, we have to find creative ways to be able to get people to tune in, and Bianca is a master at that. So I need y'all to pay attention to what's going on in the schools. And I need you to practice radical acceptance about what is going on in the schools. Okay. So I wanted to say that. But anyway, back to the transmuting of it all. So that 2020 election season was so incredibly toxic. You all saw what happened with Tammy Schamberger, but that is literally just scratching the surface. Like literally. There were attacks from the NAACP, which is wild, right? Because the NAACP is supposed to be for the good of people of color. However, what you have to understand is that money and power is what is most important. So the work that Bianca was doing, the work that Bianca continues to do, the work that we do together disrupts that. Because if you follow the money and you start pulling those threads, that's when you really start to see, oh, y'all don't actually care about kids at all. So everybody is compromised, right? And it becomes, when everybody is compromised, then now attacks are coming from all sides, and it is a lot. And the weight that we carry in activism is very invisible, and it is very secret, because you have no idea what the inbox looks like. You have no idea what the organization looks like on the back end. And so it is incredibly helpful, especially if you are somebody who is in activism. You have to find community to be able to keep yourself grounded, because otherwise you will think that you are crazy, and it's not you. I promise. So there's been a page, and it's a couple pages now. There's a page on Facebook, where there were a couple pages on Facebook. It had an evolution. And then there's now a page on Instagram. And this page antagonized people. And they supposedly are calling themselves, I guess, whistleblowers or whatever. I don't know. I have the pages blocked because I don't give a shit. Y'all could, babe, it's kind of like, you know what it's like? If you are familiar with the Lipstick Alley, it's kind of like the Lipstick Alley for education and for Hillsborough County, which is the Tampa area. So, but very much like terroristic type behavior. Like, let me spread lies, let me amplify things that are not true. Let me be incredibly insensitive and reference people's family members that have passed on. Like, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. And those pages have made consistent, they're called satire pages. So they have made their whole existence off of bullying, over cyberbullying is basically what it is. And there are people who are in power in Tampa who are using that page to basically go after their enemies. If you're familiar with Mean Girls, think about a burn book. That feels very appropriate. So anyway, Bianca has been on the page several times. My face winds up on the page several times. And it really is just because we're trying to do what is right for children. That's it. Can y'all just do right by the kids? Since y'all claim that y'all care about kids, can y'all just do right by the kids? I mean, could we? So back to my point about education and schools, one of the biggest things that I feel like we miss in so much is the role that education plays in indoctrinating our children and creating this false world for our children and causing harm to our children. And even to the point, there is Dr. Bettina Love has a term called spirit murdering. That's what's happening in our schools. Somebody else that I talked to the other day, they told me, we gonna control the creativity out of these kids. Yeah, that is the plan. They don't want our children to be creative and to be critical thinkers. Why would they want them to do that? Like, because now they can't lie and say things work a particular way. So the generation that just got out of school, the ones that just graduated, they are dealing with the existential crisis of, y'all just told me all of these things. I just learned all these things about how the government works, what it means to be an American, proud to be an American, and all of that, right? And I'm seeing the cracks, and I'm watching the things fall right in front of me that you all just told me was happening. What is going on? The generation behind them, the ones that are still in school, they are learning lies. Just straight up, and we've all learned lies, but they're just learning straight up lies. Like, there are things like Prager University where they're talking about how slavery was so beneficial because they saved Africans from their savage conditions, and they gave them housing and job skills and food. And, that's why we should be grateful, us that are descendants of slavery, because the white man gave us an opportunity to better our lives. When meanwhile, the whole country was built on not just the labor, but the intellectualism of Black people. The kids that are in school, they will never know that, not through the school system. So that's why, to the point of why the archive, why everybody is a keeper, because it's shit that we need to be keeping, because they're erasing shit every day. Every day. So we have seen this happening. A lot of the things that are happening nationally in the US started happening in Florida. So as Bianca was doing her work, and as I'm doing my work, and as we're doing parallel work together, that brings a lot of attacks. And you have to have a way to be able to transmute that into something that is actually going to put something beautiful out in the world. So that is what she has done with this album, Grace and Receipts. And Petty B and the Sounds of Snitching is a gospel album. And it has various genres of gospel influence. In my opinion, it feels like Donald Lawrence and Kirk Franklin, but also like Mary Mary. Like, every song has kind of like a different vibe. So I wanted to shout her out because she's really integral in a lot of the work that I do. And, of course, she's my best friend, but a lot of the advocacy and activism work that I do, our universes intertwine very often. And I really just wanted to take a moment to shout her out. So go over to her spaces. You can follow her at biancagoolsby.com. You can check out the album on all the platforms and places where you get music. Also, shout out to my cousin Kalanda, who is Bianca's partner, who is also a producer and a writer on the album. Child, they over there making music, child. Over there making out music and figuring out the music industry. Okay? Wild. Wild. So shout out to Bianca. Give her teddy bears and her heart hands, and you are welcome. It is my pleasure to be able to amplify what you are doing. I'm really, 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 really proud of you. So I hope you know that.
I built the plans, I missed the sun, for the peace that was already mine. I'm done pretending I can see the map when only you can bring me back. I surrender, I give up, Lord. I've tried it my way, but I can't anymore. Lead me, Lord. You've had it all along.
Now, to the point of music, the other thing that happened this week, and I already talked about PJ and that influence and all of that, but they did the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions this week. And I have been seeing it coming up. It's not really something that I follow for real. I'm really trying to untrain myself from caring about all of the white people accolades, if you will. I don't really follow the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I also don't necessarily put a whole lot of credence into it, but I can appreciate why it is considered to be a really big deal. So there were several people who were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. One of which was, let me see which order I want to go in. So let me start here. So the first of which is Cyndi Lauper. Now, I don't, if you didn't grow up in the 80s, you are probably like, girl, who is that? But if you grew up in the 80s, I just don't know how you don't have an appreciation for who Cyndi Lauper is. So, Cyndi Lauper is an American singer and songwriter. She's 72 years old. She characteristically has always had like different colored hair. I don't know if she's considered like punk rock or like I don't know. I don't know the rock categories or what that would look like. But back in the 80s, baby, Cindy used to be having an amazing time. So I want to go to some of her songs that I used to love. Now, the first is Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Okay. Now, I want you to imagine me, a young 6-year-old girl on her way to dancing school. And this is what comes on MTV. And why wouldn't I love this? Like, I'm literally just a girl, okay? I'm literally just a girl, and I just want to have fun, like literally. So imagine 6-year-old me just twirling around in circles in my ballet outfit and my tutu because I just want to have fun. That's it, right? So used to love that by Cyndi Lauper. Now another song that she used to have that I used to love is there are two more actually. So one is Time After Time. And so I want to play a little bit of that one because this is also why you need to be a part of the inner circle so you can hang out with us. Now, this song came out in 1983. Okay, 1983, y'all. That was an entire 40 years ago. That's crazy talk. Now, what I did not realize when I was growing up is how much of an activist that Cyndi Lauper is and has always been. I didn't I didn't know what true colors meant. I didn't have any understanding of like the LGBTQ plus population or people who were considered outcasts. You know, this came out in like 83, like I was 2. So I really didn't understand. But now in my adult understanding, it means so much more to me. And I see how absolutely in your face Cyndi Lauper was with "You are going to honor people and honor humanity," and how she's always been an activist. Let us take a moment to listen to Cyndi Lauper's True Colors moment. And the sound is going to come in a second. Hold on. So you can see she's standing in front of the Progress Pride flag. So the rainbow colors represent the LGBTQ plus population, but the areas at the top represent other things. So the black is, I believe, for people that have passed away. Well, black and brown also represents black and brown and marginalized people, but one of them also represents that the people that have passed away. The blue and pink represent trans. The blue, pink, and white represent trans. And then the most updated version of the Progress Pride flag, there's a circle in the white space here, and that circle represents those who are intersex. So this Progress Pride flag is an important symbol for people who represent humanity. So this is a moment that she is having right here.
True colors are beautiful. Come on, loud and proud.
So that was a moment. And the little girl in me was so like, oh my God, of course I would like Cyndi Lauper because she out here. My girl had that fist in the air, you hear me? For a long, long time. So that was really cool. So she got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that was really cool to watch. Then Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And when I tell you, honey, I had a good time watching their performance. Now, Salt and Pepper, again, if you are of niece age, okay, and you are like, girl, what are you talking about? Go ask your mom and them, all right? So, Salt and Pepper and Spinderella. Salt and Pepper are the rappers, and Spinderella is the DJ. Spinderella is actually the first DJ to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is really notable because DJing is an area where there has been a lot of misogyny and a lot of discrimination towards women. So for DJ Spinderella to be the first one who has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that says a lot. And Salt and Pepper are hip hop artists and really were foundational in a lot of the trajectory of hip hop. During their performance, Kid and Play came out, which was wild because they look so old, y'all. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I also want to say that Missy Elliott is who introduced Salt and Pepper, and Missy was also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So she did a really good job, and she was just highlighting how much they've done in the industry and all of that. Oh, y'all, they also brought out In Vogue. Oh my God. They brought out In Vogue. So that was like really, really amazing. They did a really good job. Here go Kid and Play, y'all. There they go. So they walk it out back here, and then they gonna try to do the Kid and Play right quick. Look how old they look, y'all. Look how old they look. They look so old. That was so funny to me. It's like, okay, all right. Now y'all go sit down, child, and get yourself together. So that was hilarious. But what I want to show y'all is how I showed out in this house behind this this here performance. Because you know one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a rug. You understand? I'm going to cut a rug.
What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. So here's to the future, cause we got through the past. Somebody that can make me laugh. You so crazy. I think I wanna have your baby. He's a mighty, mighty good man. Say it again now. Yes, my man says he loves me. Never says he loves me not, but it must be good and touch me in the right spot. See other guys that I had, they try to play on that man. But every time they try to say, that's not it. Kid and Play. Heck no. Hey, hey, oh, 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 oh. Pepper's here. So and Pepper's here. So and Pepper's here. Push it good. Well, push it real good.
I had the best time. That was so much fun. So Salt and Pepper was also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And that was fun. And I had a really good time. But this is what I really wanted to talk about is Outkast. So Outkast is a rap group. Again, if you are a niece or a nephew that is here and don't know, okay. So Outkast is a rap group that was born in Atlanta, Georgia. The South got something to say. And they really came out and took the world by storm. They really put the South on the map. Like it was really, really cool how they just changed the industry. And Outkast is made up of two members. So Andre 3000 and Big Boy, and they always had their own style. Like they always did what they wanted to do. Wasn't really, especially Andre 3000. Like he might be in a Peter Pan suit, or he might be in a kilt, or he might be in a whole tuxedo. Like he gonna do what he want. All right, free spirits. So they got a chance to really shout out Atlanta and really just honor the journey that they have been on and what that has looked like and sounded like for them. So I want to play this clip that Andre 3000 shared about small rooms, and let me make sure our captions are on.
One thing that Jack said, man, Jack is, man, he's one of my favorites, man. We love you, man. But one thing that he said something about little rooms. And we started in a little, little rooms. Great things start in little rooms. That's it.
Great things start in little rooms. And that really like resonated with me because when I talk about the work that I do, when I talk about the work that Bianca does, when I talk about the work of people that are connected to me, a lot of our work feels very much like we're in little rooms, like literally in little rooms, creating and thinking about how we can serve the world and how we can inspire people and how we can help people to see themselves and save themselves and support themselves. And many times people forsake little rooms and they minimize little rooms and they delegitimize little rooms, and feeling that just because you are one person or a couple people who are in a little room that you don't have the ability to make an impact. And one of the reasons I love and appreciate podcasting and things of that nature so much is because I might be in this little room with this little microphone, but the impact that I'm making is stretching across the globe. Just if we talk about this little space of minding my Black ass business and the little number of over 1,500 of us that have gathered here, and the little number of the 50 or so of you each week who are listening to the episode, we can't minimize that impact because each of us has an impact on people that are connected to us. I talked about last week how, or maybe this was in my Patreon, I wrote a post and I was talking about Tabitha Brown and how much I admire her and how much I appreciate her journey. I don't really have a lot of role models, if you will, in life, but there are people that I follow their journeys very closely, and I'm very appreciative of how they show up in those spaces. Tabitha Brown is one of those people. And I mentioned my friend Erica and how we would always talk about the line. Like I would tell her, like, you know, you next in line. And she'd be like, girl, where the hell is the line? And I'm like, oh my God, like the line is here. Like this is where the line is. The line is in those little rooms. So if you draw into community and connect into those little rooms, then now you have a network that is so much bigger, because if everybody brings their little room energy, we now have little rooms across the globe where we're able to help and support and transmute and inspire. So I wanted to kind of end on this note because a lot of times we are around people who try to make us feel like our impact isn't making a difference, or the world. It just feels like in the world that your impact isn't making a difference. And God has intentionally been sending me people to remind me that it is. And we have to stay grounded to that and connected to that so that we continue to honor the mission and what this is supposed to look like and sound like for us on this journey, instead of getting caught up in numbers or vanity metrics or things that don't really matter, when it really is impact and the intentional work that we get to do with people and beside people. And I want to say that if you are somebody who is here at the Frolicking Truth, if you are somebody who is here on Minding My Black Ass Business and in this universe, I need you to know that you are different. That you are different. And if you're around people that are not speaking the same type of language, who are not moving in the same direction, who are not aligned and seeing what you are seeing, it's really important for you to be able to find those people, because we are living in a if you know type of world. And so many of us are existing amongst people that don't know. So they have no idea what the hell we're talking about. But if you do know, you know. So if you are here, then I know that you're not riffraff, because we don't have riffraff over here. You understand? So accepting and embracing that you are gifted, accepting and embracing that you are set apart and you are different, accepting and embracing that you do have a mission in all of this, accepting and embracing that as you remain connected to community, that you are going to be okay, because we're going to be okay together, right? Um, and it's important for us to do the work that we need to do to be able to build that community. That's community in your physical location as well as community globally. We are not limited by the people that are in our immediate circle. We also have access to other people. So that is the work that I'm continuing to do, is trying to create those spaces, not trying, I am creating those spaces where you can find other people who are also like, I see you. I see you. I understand. How can I walk beside you? How can I work beside you? How can we collaborate? How can we amplify each other's things? That's the type of energy that I'm on, and that's the type of energy that we need to be on, because things are moving quickly. Things are happening rapidly. So we have to make sure that we are also being that much more intentional about keeping ourselves connected to where our anchor is going to be. So it feels daunting. And if you are at a place where you are trying to process radical acceptance and trying to move with clarity and intention and wanting to be on the other side of the things, I invite you to actually make that decision and say, okay, I'm accepting that I see what I see. I'm accepting that I'm different. I'm accepting that I'm gifted. And I believe that on the other side of this, I will have the clarity, intention, and purpose that I deserve. And I can tell you, as somebody who's walked through it, there's a lot of joy on the other side. There's a lot of different type of intention on the other side. There's a lot of clarity on the other side. And for those of us who have crossed over to the other side of embracing and accepting everything y'all told me, that was a lie. So let me go build the life that actually brings me joy at a soul level. Let me actually go seek freedom and fulfillment. Let me actually be wildly joyful. They can attest to, there's a process now. It's a process, it's a lot, but we got you. And that's why you gotta tap in and make sure that you're walking this thing intentionally with someone who can support you. We've already gone a little bit further ahead, so we can prep you for what to expect and what that looks like, and how you can brace yourself and how you can keep yourself stabilized and grounded as you're doing this work. I know it's not easy work. I know it is a lot. I get comments all the time like, Kimberly, you asking us to do some life shifting work. I understand. And also, it is necessary. It is necessary for where we are going. It is necessary for where the world is going. It is necessary, and you don't have to do that alone. All right. So I'm again going to uplift the inner circle. I see y'all are coming. I see the people are looking. I can see that you all are paying attention. Now I just need you to take the next step and actually step in there and come and see what we're talking about and come be a part. Come and contribute to community and put yourself in a place where you're able to receive support. So again, you can go to patreon.com/minding my black ass business to connect to the archive and come and explore the collections that we have, because that is where community is being built and that's where community lives. Okay. So I wanted to kind of just put that out there and remind us of that, because it can feel incredibly challenging as you're trying to navigate what's what in a world that is keeping you feeling like you're all over the place and you don't know which way to turn. We do know. We do know the ways to turn. So if you are looking to leave the US and you want to schedule time on my calendar, go to findingpeaceabroad.com. I can help you. If you are looking to be connected to Discover Your Destiny, I didn't talk. Okay, I'm gonna have to put this in. I'm gonna have to record this into a future episode, but I've decided to reopen the internship program for this next year, and I'll also be collaborating with Let's Talk Sis, the brand bestie Shekinah. So we are actively looking for interns, and interns do not have to be young people. You can also be an older person who is looking to amplify your voice and really get into content creation and think about what it looks like for us to create for this new world that we are walking into. What if the thing you've always called too much was the exact thing God designed on purpose? This is for the ones who've always known they were different. Too sensitive, too loud, too knowing, too intuitive, too woo-woo. But what if your sensitivity is actually your superpower? What if your intuition was your inheritance? Discover Your Destiny is a 10-week sacred journey back to yourself. We explore the design of your soul, your spiritual gifts, and the unique way that God speaks to you. This isn't church. It's not a rule book. It's not a performance. It's the moment you stop chasing approval and start walking in divine alignment. You'll gain clarity, language, and confidence around who you are and what you are here on the earth to do. You'll learn the real voice of God. And if you feel called to go on to become a certified intuitive melanated life coach, this is where that path begins. There are 2 ways to enter this sacred container: the Destiny track, full investments and coaching experience, or the Divine Exchange track, where internship meets soul work. You'll support podcasting, content creation, or brand development behind the scenes while learning how your unique gifts benefit the collective. Your knowing isn't a flaw. It's the fingerprint of God. This is your invitation, and I hope that you'll answer. So if that is something that you are interested in, please leave a comment, or you can reach out to me at kimberland@kimberlandjackson.com, and I will get the information to you. I will also share in future videos what the official process is and all of that. So I'll spend some time going into depth with that on the last video that I need to record. But if you are feeling the urge, my urge to you is to go ahead and take that step. So there are ways, if money is an issue, there's an internship route where you don't have to worry about money. You just contribute through helping us to build our projects. If you don't want to do that and you just want to be able to take the life coaching course, then you can also do that. And there are multiple ways that you can be involved. So please do put yourself in the way of creating a life that is going to bring you joy, because you deserve that. Oh, I wanted to talk about Mercury retrograde right quick. So let me do that actually before I close out. But the other day, let me tell y'all what happened to me. I'm sitting here, so I had to go take care of some business yesterday. So this is Monday night. I had to go take care of some business. So I'm like conducting I got arranged transportation, like I got appointments I need to go to, all this kind of stuff. Monday or Tuesday morning, if you will, at 2 a.m. Now I'm up because I be up to 1 usually, but I'm up to 2. Why my phone just stopped working? I'm talking the screen is just not responding. Nothing is working at all. Nothing. Okay. So I'm like, what is going on? So I'm like, okay, well, let me try to turn the phone off and turn it back on. Well, I can't just by pressing the power button because the screen is not allowing me to press where it says to turn it off. So then I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? So then I Google it, right? How do you reset your phone? And it says to press the down button. Now, mind you, I have an Android. Also, I don't care about your iPhone things. I don't care. Okay. Like I'm not moved by it at all. So keep your iPhone comments to yourself. And yes, I have green bubbles or whatever the hell color the bubbles are. Yes, because I do not believe in iPhones like that. All right, cool. So, the way to reset it is you press the down volume button and then you press the power button as well. But this the thing is that my volume button had broke some time ago, and so I had kind of super glued it back in there a little bit. But you know, it was working, but not really the down so much. The up was working, but the down wasn't really working. So then I was like, I can't really press that button, right? So then I was trying to hold it down. So then I had these tweezers and I was like trying to hold it down, but then I had pushed it down in there. So then it was like just in there. But so then I had to do a surgery with a knife and I had to carve the button back out with the knife, but try not to slice my hand wide open, right? Because that would be a lot for now, because also my phone don't work. So if I had to call for emergency services, I can't because I done cut my finger off. So I had to do that very carefully. Gratefully, I am a scientist and I am pretty good with a scalpel. So I had to carve out the volume button to pop it out so that I could push my tweezers in to reset the phone, y'all. It finally worked at 4 a.m., but my God, that was a lot. That was a lot. And I probably had about 3 mini meltdowns in the span of those 2 hours of frantically trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do about my phone. Do I just cancel everything? I need to go to these appointments. These appointments are important. Like, oh my God, it was a lot. And then it reset. I said all that to say Mercury is in retrograde right now, and there's a lot of weird tech shit that's happening. So if you are feeling that, then I need you to keep in mind that Mercury is in retrograde right now, and there's a lot of things that are happening. So Mercury retrograde is running from, it started November 9th, and it's going to be running until about November 29th. So like this whole month, okay? And basically, what we need to be thinking about is technology. So, for technology, you want to make sure that you're backing up your things, that you're double checking things, that you're taking screenshots of things. All of that is going to help you not freak out, right? Because the computer might shut down or a website might start acting stupid. So, you're going to back up as many things that you possibly can. Communication, you want to reread your messages before sending. I can so attest to this because when all of that stuff was happening with my phone and all of that, so then yesterday I was trying to communicate and I was getting messages mixed up and I was sending a message to one person that I didn't mean to send it to, but then I didn't realize that, so then I was confused by their response and like it was a lot. So it says communication, reread your messages before sending. Ask for clarity. Do not assume tone. People hear things through their own fog right now. That includes you, okay? Travel plans. Expect delays, reroutings, and miscommunications. Give yourself more time than you think that you need. Contracts and big decisions. If you can, slow down. If you can't, read every line twice. So now is not the time to be making big decisions and signing contracts if you can avoid it. If you cannot, be very, very intentional about taking your time to read through everything. Then the last point here says your own patience. It's thinner than usual, even if you think you're good. Give yourself grace before your mouth gets ahead of your intention. So you got to be checking yourself right now. Again, not creating narratives and all of that. You're looking for clarity, concrete evidence that is going to help you to be able to make concrete decisions. Okay, so I wanted to uplift that so that we can be intentional about supporting ourselves during this time. Our closing quote is from Grace Lee Boggs, and it says, Change comes when people understand that their power lives in their communities and not in their institutions. I want to urge us again to practice radical acceptance so that we are really able to support ourselves in drawing near and close to the people that are moving in alignment in the same directions that we are, and divesting our time, energy, and attention away from billionaire class and people who are wanting to keep us in a space of not living the types of life that we deserve to live. Okay? We deserve to have joy. We deserve to have peace. We deserve to have rest. We deserve that. So let's find where that lives. Let's make intentional decisions to put ourselves in the pathway of being able to create a community that will hold us during these times that we have coming ahead. Okay? So y'all, if you haven't liked the video already, go ahead and like the video. Make sure that you leave a comment about something that resonates with you. I really would like to know what is bringing you joy right now, so please do share that in the comments as well, along with any other thoughts that you might have. Again, this is the last, no, I have one more. This is the last recorded episode that is going to be played in real time, but all of the episodes after this point will be re-recorded. The end of the year episode will be the one that is the actual last episode that I record. So that will be where I am giving you our charge for what this new year is going to look like and how we're going to set ourselves up for success. All right. So I will catch y'all. Me will catch y'all in January. But we'll see you here at Mind My Black Ass Business on the Frolicking Truth for the next few weeks. But if you're looking for me, I'm in a Patreon. All right? Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Frolicking Truth, where joy meets justice and our nervous systems get free. Please be sure to like, rate, and comment. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Minding My Black Ass Business, and follow me on all social platforms. Until next time.